it's Suffer and I'm back with another video. And today you're getting the long-awaited Q&A video that I said I would do ages ago and still haven't done. So here you go. Yay! So I'll just have this little doodle running on the screen while I answer some of your questions. Let's start off with some art-related questions. Liv R asks what program and tablet I use, and I like to use Paint Tool SAI. Sometimes I use Photoshop as well, but I prefer Paint Tool SAI. And for my tablet, I use a Wacom Intuos Pro Medium. She also asks if I like K-pop, and no, sadly I don't, I'm sorry. The next question very much relates to this, and it comes from Dr. Rigel. Who asks what tablet I recommend for beginners. And I would say something from the Wacom Bamboo line, maybe. They've come out with a bunch of new tablets, I think, that are good for beginners. So I'm not too well informed in this area, but my first tablet was a Bamboo, and that worked very nicely for me. They also ask how you find your own style and if I like to draw backgrounds or not. I do enjoy drawing backgrounds, they just take a long time, but I like to do it sometimes. And as for finding your own style, I would say just tell yourself, okay, I'm going to figure out what I like about other people's art styles. I'm going to take those things and bash them together into something that I like, and it takes a long time. It has taken me several years to get to where I am now, and I'm still not sure that I've fully discovered my own style. So don't fear, you have a lot of time to discover your style, and it will always keep evolving. And remember that style is basically just shortcuts. It's you being lazy. So find out how you like to draw noses, for example, and how it's easiest for you, and then take that shortcut. Sherry something. I'm sorry. Fun fact, I'm dyslexic, which is why I pronounce all of your names wrong. But she asks, or they ask, what my dream job or career would be. And honestly, though I know it's kind of cliche and dumb, I would like to do YouTube for a living because I'm having so much fun talking to you guys and making videos. So hopefully I'll get to a point in the future where I can support myself by doing what I love. And if that doesn't work out, I'll probably go for something that has to do with animation or illustration, since that's kind of the education I am going for right now. Unicorn Flash asks when I started to draw and where I come from. I started to draw when I was about 12 years old. I mean, all children draw, but they eventually drop it or they don't take it as seriously. So I would say that for me, the starting point in quotations was when I was 12, because that's when I started taking art more seriously. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be an artist. Yes. And I guess I am now, so it worked, yay! As for where I'm from, a lot of people guess that I'm from the Netherlands or Norway. I've even had some people guess Russian, which baffles me. I don't know what part of me sounds Russian. But sure, no, I'm from Denmark. Yes, it's a small country underneath Norway, if you don't know what Denmark is. It's tiny, yeah. Next question comes from Claudio38IFY, who asks which artists inspire me and who my favorite YouTuber is. I don't know if I have one or a list of artists who inspire me. I usually just go on Tumblr and look at stuff and follow people who I like, but I don't really have one big artist that I'm really into. But when you mention the YouTube part, I do actually have one who is drawing with the waffles or drawing with waffles, who really inspired me when I was younger, and I love the way that she draws. She's really great. She's also possibly one of my favorite YouTubers. Other YouTubers I like include Draw with Yasa and the Drawfee channel and Doodle Date and all of those guys. Lavender Town, Bailey J, Casey Golden, you know, all of the good art peeps. Next question is from Dino Ideas, who asks what I think about artists without formal education and if I have any tips on how to grow as an artist. Well, up until very recently, I have been an artist without a formal education in art, and I still kind of consider myself to not have a formal art education, because when you start animation school, at least the way it works where I go to school, you don't really get a lot of art education. You get more animation education, so I'm still basically a self-taught artist. And on one hand, I think it's really great to be self-taught because you don't have to rely on schools, you don't have to pay a lot of money, and sometimes schools don't teach you what you want to learn. But on the other hand, if you're gonna go into something like animation or illustration or that kind of thing, I think it's a good idea to have more of a formal pre-education in art, if that makes sense. Just take some art courses, or if you can go to an art high school, if that's a thing. I don't know. The school system in Denmark is pretty different from everywhere else. But I feel that I'm suffering because I'm self-taught. So I'm having more trouble with learning animation because I don't know as much about drawing as everyone else does. So I kind of regret being fully self-taught until this point. But at the same time, it's not that bad. You can totally teach yourself. If you have the courage and the spirit to teach yourself how to draw, go for it. You can find a bunch of good tutorials on YouTube, or you can go to Skillshare, or not sponsored by the way, or any kind of platform like that, and learn how to draw just fine. You just need to motivate yourself to do it. But in short, and to sum it up, I think that you can totally teach yourself how to draw and be self-taught, but I feel like you will learn more in a shorter amount of time, and you will be forced to learn things that you wouldn't learn by yourself if you go to a formal art education. The next question was asked by a bunch of different people, and it's what medium I like the most. And I think I'm gonna go with digital, if that's allowed. If not, I would say markers. Not necessarily just Copic markers, also just water-based markers, because I love to just doodle with a chunky marker. I find that very fun. The next question comes from Yoa, who asks me if there are any shows that I watched in my childhood that I was a fan of and that inspired me to draw. Oh boy, let me tell you. When I was younger, I was a very, very big fan of Phineas and Ferb. And it was just such an amazing show to me, such an amazing universe. And it was the first show that I really got into. And it was also what actually prompted me to draw. When I was 12 years old, I started drawing because I really wanted to do fan art of the characters. And I was like, hey, this is so fun. I love it. So I just kept doing it. And that's actually the reason that I'm still drawing to this day, is because I drew Phineas and Ferb fan art for a long, long time. So I'm gonna have to say that Phineas and Ferb is one of my all-time favorite shows and was my all-time favorite show when I was a child. Next question comes from Jasmine the cat, who asked a very long question, so I'm gonna sum it down. She talked about how to go about starting a YouTube channel or a webcomic, or just putting yourself and your art out for people to see in general, and asks me if I have any tips. And I do. I do have tips for you. Are you ready? Brace yourself. Tip number 1 is put yourself everywhere. Don't hesitate. If you find a platform you like, put yourself there. I would say make a Tumblr, make an Instagram account, make a DeviantArt, make a YouTube, put stuff on all of those. Also Twitter, you can do Twitter as well. And just post your art on all of the platforms, because the more you kind of spread around on the internet, the easier it is for people to notice you. Tip number 2 is to interact with other artists and to see if there are any collaborations you can be part of, or sometimes on different platforms people have prompts that you can work from, or different fandom weeks, and you can create artworks to be part of the event. So that kind of thing will help you get noticed more by other people, and it's also very fun to be part of. And I think my last tip would be to post frequently, because if you only post once a month, people will forget that you exist and they won't notice you. But if you post more often, you will be more prominent and more visible. So yeah, go out there and post your art and be confident in yourself, because you got this. Yeah. Next question comes from Alicia, who asked a bunch of questions. Thank you so much. I'm gonna answer only some of them. She asked me if there's a time that I felt like I completely failed at art and how I proceeded from there. And other people have asked me similar questions, so I'm gonna answer this with: sometimes I feel like my art in general is getting into a slump and I'm not progressing and it's getting worse and I can't draw anymore. And when I feel like that, I find that the best way to get over it is to just say, okay, either I'm gonna draw a bunch of bad stuff, or I'm gonna put this away and do something else for a while until I feel ready to art again. I've been feeling this way recently about my animation, and the assignment I handed in today isn't good at all. It's very horrible, but I decided that I'm gonna stop working on this now, because it's not doing me any good. It's hurting me to work on this, and I don't want to do that to myself. So I'm just gonna put it down and I'm gonna do better another time. And on that happy note, let's move into some more silly questions, or personal questions, or whatever. So next question, also coming from Alicia, is: do you have any piercings or tattoos? And I don't have any tattoos. I do have piercings. They're actually in the drawing. I have 4 piercings in my left ear. She also asks what my favorite Miyazaki movie is, and I think I'm gonna have to go with... oh goodness, I don't even know. I think maybe Howl's Moving Castle. Yeah, let's go with that one. Next question comes from Levi Curie. Curie? I'm sorry if that's not how you pronounce your name. Who asks what my favorite musical is. And I'm gonna have to go with Dear Evan Hansen, because it's the first musical I really got into, and it hits me right in my heart places. It's so perfect and pure, and I relate to a lot of the themes in Dear Evan Hansen. Another musical I really like is Be More Chill. It's just so amazing. The music is so crazy wild, but it's so good. I also really like Heathers. That's another one of my faves. The next question is very relevant. It's from Maggie13088, who asks if I play any instruments. Hahaha. What a nice segue. And yes, I do. I actually play the ukulele and the guitar and piano, and I'm currently trying to learn how to play the violin. And if you didn't know, all of the music that you hear in my videos was played by me, which is why it's super simple and kind of silly, but it's just to avoid copyright issues and having to pay other people to use their musics. And it's also just more fun to make your own music. Next question comes from Harpo Django Rose, who asks if I have an extra toe. I do not. And they also ask if not, do I know where they can get one? I would suggest trying the black market, but I heard they can be really expensive on there, so you might want to save up for that. Okay, so I think that the last thing we're gonna do is just rapid fire some this or that from Alicia, who made a nice list of this or that questions for me. Okay, are you ready? Bike or skateboard? Skateboard. No, bike. Oh no, I'm so bad at this. I bike more, so bike. Hamsters or bunnies? Bunnies. Obviously, bunnies. Blue or red? Red. I'm gonna go with red. New York City or LA? I would say LA. I've never been to any of those. Mad or sad? I'm more often sad than I'm mad, so I'm gonna go with sad. Steve or Jonathan? I think it's from Stranger Things. I'm gonna go with Jonathan. I like him more. Yeah. Bath or shower? I never take a bath. I always shower. So shower, but I like baths more. Crayons or Sharpies? I've never tried either, but I guess I would go with Sharpies. Stripes or checkers? Stripes? Yeah, stripes. Beer or wine? Neither, I don't drink. Winter or summer? Summer, because I'm Danish. We have a lot of winter, we don't have a lot of summer. I prefer summer. Passenger or driver? Depends. In the nighttime, I like to drive. In the daytime, I like to be a passenger. Cake or pie? Both, please. Cheetos or Doritos? I've never had either, so... but I think I'll go with Doritos. Tie-dye or camo? That was tie-dye, if I was mumbling. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pick tie-dye because I'm not into camo. So, tie-dye. And there you go. Now you hopefully know a bit more about me, maybe a bit more than you wanted to. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question. I just picked the ones that I found the most relevant. Some of them were very specific and I really wanted to answer them, but it would take me a long time and I don't know how to word things because, as you know, I'm very good at words. Ha ha ha. Irony. But if you still have a question that I can answer with just a sentence or two, please feel free to leave it in the comments and I will do my best to try and answer you. Okay, so now that we're almost at the end of the video, I want to thank everyone who made it this far for listening to me ramble for 17 minutes. I appreciate it. Can we have one of those things that all of the cool YouTubers do where if you made it to this part of the video, you comment a word in the comments, a secret word that we decide together? Or well, it's just me. I'm gonna decide that the word will be fiddlesticks. Yes, so if you made it this far, please comment fiddlesticks in the comments down below. Yes, so thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you later.